I need to talk to you about 2001: A Space Odyssey because I have this weird relationship to it, and I'm curious to know if anybody else out there thinks the same thing. I've seen it twice now in the theater in the last 8 years, and my relationship to it has always been weird in that I'll go to liking the whole thing to liking most of it. And the last time I saw it, I was blown away by the whole thing. I think I was on an edible, so maybe that has something to do with it. This time, I was on a long drink, so, one drink, and I sort of have come full circle back to the way I thought about it before, which was I love the beginning, amazing, and I love the end, and I kind of love the moment on the moon where they flip out because I think that's a good discovery. But that bit from the end of the monkeys until that moment on the moon, it just, to be honest, can I just be honest here? It felt boring. It was a slow burn, man, like slow, slow, slow. And I kept thinking, like, as I'm watching this, and whenever you see a screening of it, and maybe you've had this too, if you see a screening of it, there is so much Kubrick love and I can't think of the right word to say, but like they're the glorification of Kubrick. And I love Kubrick, don't get me wrong, I do. But it's almost like this thing of like this world is being created, or this wall, this line, let's say, this barrier. You can't cross this. We're here because we think this is the best example of cinema, the greatest mind-blowing. No, it's not. I'm sorry. There are great things about it, and I love it, and I think it's a great movie. And I think it was made in like 68, or it was released in 68, so that means it was probably shot in 66, 67. And for it to be useful now is crazy, and with the way it looks. That if you came out with something right now that looked like that, people would be like, oh, it looks sort of like vintage or whatever, but it's great. Like nobody would talk about how terrible the CGI or whatever is. Nobody would, because it looks great still. But I kept thinking in the middle, I don't know if this is for me. Is he just smarter than I am and I need to catch up to him intellectually, cinematically? Like I'm not there yet? Or is what I'm seeing accurate? And as an observer of movies, as a moviegoer, me, anybody, everybody else in that theater, we're entitled to our opinion and how we see things. And I seriously doubt that I'm alone in that theater, that I was alone, because it went on forever, man. And I'm telling you, like, there were times, and I love I used to listen to operas all the time in music school. We're talking 4-hour Wagner operas. And I can sit there, man. I can sit there. I can take it. I love it. I get into it. 16-hour Ring trilogy, I'm there. Okay, I have a long attention span. But even for me, who listens to Brian Eno all the time while taking an edible in a bath and just sits there for hours, there were times where I want to stand up and go, come on! Can we speed this up a little bit? I mean, we're talking about like a spaceship that's docking that goes like this. This is real time. I don't want to make you relive it here, but that's what it is. And fast forward to 5 minutes later when it's right here, and I'm just thinking, this is crazy. How did I not see this before? Or I always felt kind of weird about that part, but I didn't want to admit to anyone. But now I've got YouTube, and I'm just going to sing it out loud. I don't like the part between the apes and the discovery of the monolith on the moon. I think it drags. And I don't know if I'll change my mind about that. Sometimes I watch it and it works. But fucking hell, man, it takes forever to get through that part. And I almost wish that it had been either severely edited down or maybe just reshot or taken out. I don't know. I think you could go straight from the apes, maybe some sort of setup to, and I'm not trying to say that Kubrick should, do you know what I mean? I'm just saying on the other side of the screen, the genius is on one side, right? I'm an idiot, but I'm telling, as an observer, I have a right to think this. It's sort of like art. If I go into a gallery or museum, Do I know how to paint like Renoir? No. Do I have the musicology background to where I can opine on the history? Not really. I mean, I have a lot of knowledge of it, but it doesn't make my opinion any less valid. So, because I say that because I know there are going to be people who watch this who they went to film school and they've read Arthur C. Clarke while masturbating, and they just love to go after people like me who say, you don't know what you're talking about. It's the greatest film ever made. Yeah, it's great, but it has flaws. You know, that's the case with so many great films, I think. And this is one of them. It drags. And if you don't think it drags, I don't know what to tell you. We've got a different definition of drag, man, because it moves slow. And I am so overwhelmed by the first 20 minutes of The Monkees because I think it's just brilliant. And I heard Tarantino talk about this as well. In between those two parts, you know, the bookend of the part that I'm talking about that I think drags, the Monkees seeing the monolith and being kind of shaken by it showing up, right? Does the monolith not emit? It's not the same as when they discover it on the moon. We hear it in the audience. We hear like a high-pitched squeal on the moon. But we don't hear that when it's on Earth. Is that because we're hearing it through the Monkees' perspective? Maybe they mentioned this in Arthur C. Clarke's novel. But I think that's a fascinating thing to think about. Is it that it's a different sound and it's communicating to the Monkees in a different way? Or is it the same sound and the Monkees just aren't as susceptible to those pitch ranges as humans? And I don't really know what happens to... I've seen this movie so many times. I don't know what happens to the guys on the moon. Do they die? Do they explode? Do their eardrums just like burst and they die? I don't know if it's really covered. I mean, maybe I'm not paying attention. Maybe I'm too stoned or too many long drinks in when I watch these, but I honestly couldn't tell you. But it doesn't seem good because I don't know if you're going to stop it, this thing that's been planted there, right? You're just going to have to like tail it out of there. But I love the idea of the question of, are the Monkees hearing something, the same thing differently, or is it just talking, if it can communicate in any sort of way, to the two different species differently? That's something that I hadn't thought about that I loved on this particular viewing. And I do think that the end is fantastic as well, and what it has to say. And I've kind of already done a review of this, and I don't remember what I said. I remember a few people, did that's the Arthur C. Clarke wag of like, you haven't read the books, you don't know, man. Well, I don't know, but I'm just a viewer and I watch it and I'm blown away by most of it, but not all of it. So I would be interested to know if you have a similar experience. I brought this up in my acting class, and I wasn't alone. So I would be interested, and among my friends, it's kind of the same thing. Is that kind of commonplace? And I will only know that if you all comment below and tell me, because I have no idea if that's the case. We're kind of told this thing about how brilliant it is over and over again, and I don't know that anybody's ever used. I don't know that the word perfection is used commonly, to be fair. I do think it's great, and I think parts of it are brilliant, but I just can't get over that middle part. So I would love to know what you have to say. Will I see it? Maybe I've seen it too many times in the theater. 2 times in 8 years. Maybe that's 7 or 8 years. Maybe that's too much. I kind of did that to Interstellar for myself. I saw it 3 times when it came out, and then I saw it a couple times in the theater subsequently, 1,000,000 times at home, it seems like, and it's kind of faded on me. I don't think there's anything brilliant in Interstellar. I think front to back, it's amazing. I'm not trying to compare the two, but they are similar in terms of topic and sort of the bigger questions that they're answering, and they're both long. Well, Interstellar is like 3 hours, and I can't remember what 2001 is, but it's not short. So anyway, I will end it here. Let me know in the comments below. 2001: A Space Odyssey, still a classic, still love it, just not sure about that particular part.